All right, joining us now at the table is Raffi Williams. He's a Deputy Press Secretary for the Republican National Committee. We just heard from Congressman Frank Pallone. Raffi, thanks for joining us, by the way. We just heard from Congressman Frank Pallone, a Democrat who expressed his frustration with sort of the way Republicans have been handling the question of Obamacare rollout. And I guess maybe you can sort of resolve this for me, because I've been trying to figure out what it is that Republicans want here. Because the message from Republicans for the last 3 years has been, absolutely now we don't want this law in the first place. Okay, it's on the books, we want to repeal it. Okay, we're willing to shut down the government to defund it. We're not going to set it up in our states. Republican governors have been saying this. And I'm watching that hearing on Thursday, and I'm hearing all these Republican congressmen basically saying, you know, what an outrage, this program, all these people can't sign up for it. It seemed to me that would almost make Republicans happy. What is it that you want to come out of this? What do you want to come out of it? Obamacare enrollment phase? Well,
I think it's important to remember that businesses got the employer mandate delayed for a year. And so we're just asking that individual Americans get treated the same way as their employers do, and that it's unfair for the individual Americans to have to pay more for health care because of Obamacare. They should have the same benefits that big business have that Obama has been playing to.
But do you want... I mean, this is now, right now, you guys just tried to get rid of this, just tried to defund this, and it didn't work. The government's open, the Affordable Care Act is still the law. Given that reality, you look at all those individuals out there right now who don't have health insurance. Do you want them to sign up for this?
I want Americans to have health insurance, but I think that there's a better way to get them affordable health care, and the Affordable Care Act is not the way to do that. I think the Affordable Care Act increases costs for people, and it's taking away private insurance. I was just talking to a conservative the other day who was telling me how his private insurance plan has been taken away from him because it doesn't hit the bare minimum that Obamacare dictates. But I think people should be able to decide what they want to have in their health care and what they don't want to have, instead of having it falsely increased because of Obamacare.
Russ,
yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask you, we've seen these ad campaigns that are actively discouraging young people from signing up for health care. I mean, do you think that's moral? Because historically, the Republican conservative argument has been you need to take personal responsibility, and if you get caught without health insurance, well, that's kind of your fault because you weren't responsible. Isn't it immoral to actually tell young people not to sign up for health care?
What I'm encouraging young people to do is to go get a job that gives you health care. But the Obama economy has prevented that, and so that's a problem that we're facing.
So you think that ads telling young people not to sign up to, quote, opt out, which means don't sign up for health insurance, you think that's a fine thing to do?
I have nothing to do with those ads, but what I'm telling you is that Americans, young Americans especially, they want to find a job that puts them on the right career track, that can get them the health care they need. I get health care through my employer. I'm thankful for that, but not enough young Americans are able to do that.
So if you're not employed, then you don't deserve health insurance?
No, I'm not saying that at all, but I'm saying let's get the cost of health insurance down so it's affordable for young people, instead of making it unaffordable and putting all the old and sick people on the backs of young people through false...
But again, there is a question here of, there's the philosophical... What Republicans, I'm still sort of trying to figure out what the Republican replace plan for this is. But again, we're living in a world right now where the Affordable Care Act for the foreseeable future is the law of the land. This is the system that's in place for this country. And I'm watching how the Republicans handled this week, and I'm hearing a lot of outrage about the problems that consumers are having. I think justifiable outrage. But I'm wondering, you know, are you telling people you should sign up for this? Do you want this law to work right now?
I want people to have health care and to be able to be healthy and responsible for their own good. But I think that the problem we're facing right now is that most Americans can't afford Obamacare in the way that it's being implemented. I think the rollout's been a disaster. I think Secretary Sebelius needs to be fired, and I think that most importantly,
but you're not answering the question here, because
it's just an individual right now who doesn't have health insurance, right? And let's say they're in a state.
Well, let's get a way that it makes it easier and cheaper for them to get health care. Let's not artificially inflate the price. That's what I'm saying.
We have to deal in reality here.
So my question, actually, from your original statements, it sounds like what Republicans want is a delay of individual mandate, and that then maybe they can get to work at repealing the entire law and replacing it with something that is yet to be specified. Is that the objective?
There are bills that have been introduced in the House that have different ways of changing Obamacare and different ways of replacing it. And the Republican answer to this is to go piecemeal, is to go step by step instead of forcing a bill upon Americans like Obamacare was.
Forcing a bill was passed through Congress.
Without any Republican,
by the Supreme Court, and then we had another election.
Without any Republican votes at all.
I mean, here's the thing that is frustrating me, is we have a reality here, right? We have Obamacare. That is the law of the land. So what Steve is trying to get you to say is, do you think that given the fact that we have Obamacare and that is the option for young people, that they should sign up or that they shouldn't?
I think that's a personal choice for them, but I think the most important thing here is this rollout has been such a disaster, is why wouldn't you delay it? They're causing themselves problems and looking terrible in front of the American people.
Rebecca, very quickly.
I think one of the questions I have just from the political perspective here, so we've switched, obviously there's been a pivot now from the defund to looking at the problems of Obamacare to this oversight role. So the question becomes, and obviously Democrats have the flip sort of this problem. Democrats would like to talk about solutions without spending a lot of time talking about the problems. But it seems like Republicans would like to talk about the problems, and the logical next step is to look for solutions. So are we going to start to see Republicans talking about ways to fix Obamacare?
You're going to see Republicans talk about ways to help Americans. I think that's the most important step. You see Joe Manchin introduced a bill the other day. He's a Democrat to delay Obamacare for a year. I think you're going to see Republican support for that. And I think what you're going to see is Republicans pushing ideas like health savings accounts, like insurance portability, that will help reduce costs and make it easier for Americans to be insured.
All right, Raffi Williams, thank you for that. Crystal and Frank Pallone, I think, probably drinking the same thing before the show. Both fired up. Anyway, thanks for joining us, Raffi. I really do appreciate it, and we'll be right back. We'll pick up the discussion right after this.